Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for sure. And here we are, the end of Season 2 of Castlevania, the halfway point, because Season 3 and Season 4 come next. But it is episode number 8, End Times. Directed, of course, by Sam Dietz and written by Warren Ellis. It's a come-down episode. We've had that frantic, furious end of Dracula in episode number 7. Now we're just going to catch up with people and lay some bricks for where we might be going in the next season. The job is done. The job is done. So what else is there to do? There is that thought when it initially starts. Yep. The castle is peaceful. Although probably needs some repairs. Yep. Dracula and Alucard did kind of fuck stuff up a little bit. Good luck with that. And Alucard wanders the halls. And through the use again of silence and the sound of his feet clicking on the floor, it's more of a tomb than anything else. You know, the life in that castle has gone. The darkness has gone. It's just walls, stone, and that's it. We see Cypher and Trevor admiring the mechanisms and the science labs of the castle, just to bring that back to the start, that it still existed. Yep. Knowing that Cypher's magic has broken the castle's ability to move. I thought that was a clever little way to just drop that in. Yes, yep. Because it does tie back to how much trouble she had moving it when it was teleporting all around the fucking city in that incredible scene. That she basically broke the mechanism and it'll never move again, so it will stay forever on top of the Belmont Library, which is cool as fuck.
Yeah, they have a little joke with her too about, she broke it. Yeah,
it's fun. Little back and forth banter between the pair. They've got good chemistry. Mm-hmm. But they do wonder aloud what Alucard will do. He does overhear them and reveals that he was just planning to go... Basically, he's just going to go back to sleep. Yeah. I've got nothing to do. I've woken up. I'm just going to go back to sleep. However, he doesn't feel like he can leave the castle and the knowledge inside to be abandoned. If he leaves it there, it's just going to be raided, like a tomb, like any tomb. Lara Croft, tomb raiding. She's going to come in. She's going to take that shit. And he calls it a grave and says it'll be his grave too, basically. Super, super dramatic, unnecessary Alucard. I'm surprised he didn't flout his hair when he did that. Oh, it's my grave too.
I was actually expecting him to ask Trevor to kill him. That's what I thought.
But like to fight, well, he's not going to be able to protect it then, is he, if he's dead?
Well, yeah, but even if he's asleep, he wouldn't be able to protect him.
Yeah, but if you're not... But the setting of the traps, he could be woken up if someone was to set them off. But also, people know when there's a vampire sitting in the castle, very unlikely to go near it.
Oh, yeah,
it's that kind of thing. Yeah. My God, you do reach with some of these.
I know.
But Trevor refuses to allow it and gifts him the Belmont Library, saying basically, stay at the castle, protect both the ancestral homes, make them both his home, and use the collective knowledge within both areas to help people. It's really, really strong stuff, and it's like, I really like that. I like that. It gives Alucard purpose.
Gives him purpose, and it also shows that Trevor has
trust,
respect and trust.
This is the Belmont work, which is often used to kill your kind. But you can study it. And Alucard nods in agreement. Like, yeah, actually, I like this idea. This is good. He could use it for good. And that's all nice, right? End of the episode. Nope. Isaac is alone in the desert and clearly lost. Now he has no role. He's kind of drinking at a pool, washing himself down. And a group of raiders approach him and basically make the mistake of just being dicks to him.
Yep.
Just being dicks. And Isaac kills them all in pretty brutal fashion. It is a do not fuck with Isaac. He is immensely deadly. Part of the reason why he's so deadly is how matter-of-fact he is about it.
Yep.
He takes no pleasure in killing, but he also has zero remorse in it either.
He gave them 10 warnings.
He gave them a chance.
Constantly warned them, I'm giving you one more chance.
Again, like, my God, for a man that's so damaged by what humanity do, he's constantly shown reasons why humanity are arseholes. Yeah. It's a real problem. As night falls, Isaac eats and plans, and he turns the dead raiders into night creatures. Basically, his plan is to raise an army for himself, saying that I think it might be nice to have an army for himself. And now you see the future of Castlevania. Because there's a man who is different to Dracula, but might share a very similar goal.
That's why I thought the whole Dracula saving him for him to continue his work. That's what I thought.
Well, do you think Isaac knows Dracula is dead?
I think it's.
I think he would feel it.
I think he'll suspect it because, well...
Why else would he have been sent there?
Yeah, because surely if he wasn't dead, he would have, like, open the window, like, you can come back now.
Yeah, that was cool. I won.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think in his heart he probably knows he's dead. Trevor and Cypher are walking through the woods, and she reveals to Trevor that she wants to meet up with her people and add this story to theirs. And Trevor figures, okay, cool, and that she'll stay with him, but she's actually not too sure about it. She reflects on what she has done so far, and basically, I don't want to stop this. She talks about, well, look, you know, we write stories down and all, but I've done this. I've moved a castle with magic. I've done this. I've killed Dracula, all of this. And basically, she wants to carry that on and convinces Trevor to stay with her and join her in stopping evil out there. So basically, the adventures of Cypher and Trevor. So you see what we're setting up here. We've now established Alucard's future.
Yep.
We've established Isaac's future. We're establishing Trevor and Cypher's future. There are one more set of people we need to check in on. As we're off to the ruins of Brrraains. And it is ruins. That castle teleporting really fucks stuff up.
Yeah, it's been destroyed.
Don't you want to say sorry to them, Cypher? Where Carmilla and Hector are. The vampire reveals to Hector that she's going back to her home in Styria. They reflect on what has happened, Carmilla revealing that she knows Dracula is dead. And it clearly troubles Hector, and Carmilla gets him to stand up. I do like this scene where she's waiting for the sun to go down. They're kind of talking quietly and peacefully. And she seems as defeated as Hector does, because her entire plan went out the window. Her army got slaughtered. Dracula died. And there is a power vacuum, but the country's in a mess now. And obviously, the people responsible for killing Dracula, they're still there. They're still, you know. So that's why I think she needs to go back to Styria. Just to regroup, if not anything else. And he gets great scene as Hector stands up. One of her surviving troops appears behind Hector and puts a collar around his neck. It's a good scene. It just steps out the dark and snaps his collar around his neck. Hector, it's an enslavement collar, and Hector's now been enslaved, and Carmilla reveals that she plans to use Hector to rebuild her forces and take advantage of the power vacuum left by Dracula's demise. So she's going to bring Hector back to Styria, use his Forge Master skills to build an army, and then I'm the new boss.
I really hope he kills her. I really hope he's the one who kills her.
Well, she is really pretty horrible in this next set of sequences.
Yeah.
Calling him her pet Forge Master before beating him into a bloody pulp. It is a pretty nasty scene. She's laughing while she's doing it. It's pretty horrible, and kind of like the last we see of Hector is basically in chains, being dragged behind a horse. Now there's Hector. We will check on him again in the future. Trevor and Cypher say their goodbyes to Alucard. Nice little sort of, banterish scene as usual, being dicks to each other, but, love each other to a degree.
Trevor tried to be nice for once. It was Alucard who's been the dick.
It's just them. It's just
banter,
them. But it doesn't really end in a happy way. As left alone in the castle, Alucard reflects on the loss of his parents, seeing spirits almost to a degree, and is overcome by grief. And ends with him breaking down and crying.
Proper breaking down.
Yeah, so we do have a little bit of a wow. Yeah, it is interesting because obviously you're not aware of what. Have you ever watched? Have you gone ahead yet?
No.
Okay.
I'm watching it episode by episode as we did it with recordings.
Absolutely. So yeah, you don't really know the future, but we've got everyone kind of off on their own. Everyone's separated. I think that's really interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean you can tell straight away. Obviously that Trevor and
Cypher?
Sorry, Trevor and Cypher, you can see their relationship. They're building together a relationship. So something's going to happen between us. So you can see it.
Wow.
Well, you can see.
It's no secret. It's no spoilers. I don't have to spoil this. There's no secret that yes, because one of their children will become an important Belmont. In fact, the new Castlevania show, when it eventually turns up, Castlevania Nocturne, which has been in development on Netflix for a while now, is starring. Many centuries after these events, not centuries, many years after these events, starring a descendant of Cypher, another like a Belmont.
Yep.
So that's no secret though. That's no secret, because of course you had to know that was going to be the case as well. Trevor's the last Belmont.
Of course,
that lineage needs to continue on.
Of course,
and obviously the only female we currently have in the show is Cypher.
Of course,
aside from the vampires, but I'm pretty sure Trevor's not banging one of them to have a baby with.
No.
Without giving too much away, I do remember season 3 quite strongly. I think if I remember our reviews, I said season 3 was the best season of all Castlevania. All of them. That's how strong it is. Because we do spend a lot of time in Styria, which is one of my favourite locations in the entire thing, and a lot of time with Hector. and Hector really grows. Isaac's, I don't know, wave, his flood of destruction, Alucard's thing. I don't want to talk about it because it's so fucking mental what goes on with him. Season 3 is brilliant, but season 2 was really, really strong. You know, obviously, you can't really do comparison here. You can't say, well, season 2 was better than season 1. Because season 1 was an introduction, 4 episodes based around 4 major players. It was great introduction to it, but you call season 2 the real meat of the show.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But I do love, what I love about it is while we have our main players, I love the introduction and use of people like Isaac and Hector to kind of further the story and things like that. Isaac and Hector become such, you know, they're major players already, but it becomes so integral to where Castlevania goes.
Yep.
That's fantastic, you know. So presumably looking forward to season 3.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, overall, you know, the writers, the voice actors are fantastic.
Animation,
it's unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. But yeah, that is End Times, episode number 8 of season 2. You got any thoughts now, or season 2 overall? You know what to do. Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?